There you have it. Senate Democrats slamming the administration's efforts to cut down the federal workforce. We got a report from Senator Blumenthal. He claims DOGE cuts have actually led to $21.7 billion worth of government waste on your screen. Director of the Office of Personnel Management is Scott Kupor, and he joins me now. What's your response to this report of $21 billion worth of waste, sir?
Well, my response is very simple, which is if you look at what the Senate Democrats are saying is that we should never actually try to reduce federal spending and benefit the American taxpayers. I come from the business world, and it's very commonplace, as you probably know, that if you're going to try to actually reduce expenses, which we are doing through this process, sometimes you have to incur some one-time expenses, but those one-time expenses will be way more than paid for by the $20+ billion in savings annually that we will generate from the deferred retirement program.
Your office is telling us that as of June, it's 154,000 federal employees have taken advantage of the buyout offers. But the reduction in the workforce, I am told, is much higher, much more than 154,000. Can you give me a higher number?
Yeah, remember, that number just reflects this particular program we did called the Deferred Retirement Program. There were other mechanisms that some of the other agencies have used. So we did some reductions of probationary employees. There were actually some RIFs, some removals. And then there was also other voluntary retirement programs. So if you look at the total numbers, we anticipate that that may be roughly about double of what that 150,000 number is.
That's the total reduction in the federal workforce in the immediate future. Has anything
That's what we're anticipating, correct. Now, remember, just to put that in perspective, we're talking about a workforce that's 2.4 million people.
Sure.
And in the last administration, basically, they grew this workforce by about 20%. So even though these, obviously, it's always hard when you make cuts, we're really talking about right-sizing the government to roughly where it was when President Trump left office last time.
I can't remember. I've been covering the American economy for 50 years. I can't remember any time when there's been any significant cut in the federal workforce, ever. Nothing like this.
Yeah, it's a really difficult process, and this is why, by the way, we had to design a creative program like the Deferred Retirement Program. And again, in a normal work environment, as you know, if people aren't performing the way that we want them to, there are mechanisms that employers can use to ultimately kind of remove those people from the workforce. In the federal government, it takes forever to actually try to remove even people who are underperforming.
Yes. Yeah.
Just to put a pin on that, just so you understand it for your viewers, last year, there were fewer than 6,000 federal employees, again, out of a workforce of about 2.4 million that were ultimately removed from their jobs for poor performance. That's about 0.2%. And as great as many of the employees are, it's just not possible in an organization of that size that there probably aren't other people who may not be able to perform at the appropriate expectations.
It's just so different from private enterprise, isn't it?
Correct.
So thanks very much for joining us this morning. Great numbers.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.